What's going on, guys? It's the guy Professor O coming through with a dose of that good yolk. I'm everywhere like broken glass. I'm around like a circle. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round. Now, today I want to talk about kindness and stern. First and foremost, you got to realize these are the most powerful traits that I ever acquired. I can't even say acquired, but I could say refined, right? Because all these traits you usually already have within you. I got my notebook down, handy dandy notebook, and who writes in script? I do, your boy, you know this. But we're gonna stick to the script, and we definitely gonna go down these points. But I want to kind of diverge a little bit more into why these are high power quality traits. Because initially we start off right with these traits. We start off, well, not really stern, I can say, but maybe some kids do start, children do start off stern, right? But kindness is kind of like a overall thing as a child. Even when the wrathful children, they still have some form of kindness. Unless you just a spawn of evil and Satan, then you be like, well, damn, this baby has been damned since the beginning. I don't have no idea about any of that. I digress. But when kindness is like, all right, as a child, you are kind, you're overly kind, actually. You know, the world is your oyster. You show kindness, affection, connection, overall, you know, child stuff, right? Then as you grow older, you see how the world operates, and then the world is treating you this way, etc., so forth. And then now that kindness may be a little bit more altered, or you start, you know, customizing it a little bit better to who you want to show kindness to, etc., so forth. You develop other traits, blah, 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 yada, 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 that type of stuff, right? But over time, I've noticed that generally a lot of adults, as they reach adulthood, they change their kindness. Like they kind of dissipate, like they just discard it, would be the better word. And now they kind of, or they don't discard it, they hold on to it, but then they use it to certain individuals. Like, okay, I could be kind to this one, but dealing with this dude's a jackass, so I don't really know about that. Or, you know, he's kind of like a, you know, one of those guys, right? Etc. so forth. So what I'm here to say is first of all, yeah, can I get that? Yeah, all right, I'm gonna start off right. What I'm here to say is that getting involved and discarding it and being choosy and showing partiality when you're using your kindness is first and foremost, it's too much mental real estate for you to carry. That doesn't benefit at all. It won't transform into the kindness that you need, which is become that high quality version of kindness. You're still at a lower level if you're showing partiality. And I mean by that is because first and foremost, that's what the enemy wants you to do. Remember, now these terms and these traits that I talk about, when they transform and they get to a point where they're so, enough words can't even define it, you know what I mean? You just have to experience it, and then people want to experience you more. They become more spiritual than they are mental. Though the mental is spiritual, but I digress, not gonna get too much into that. So how does that happen? Well, first and foremost, let's go down a few points and I spin back to that, right? See what we have here. Oh, yes, indeed. Now, there's nothing wrong with being kind and all, but please understand that there are those that will misuse your kindness. Why? Because as at one point they had kindness, but then they realized what the world was, etc., so forth, and then they discarded, well, if the world did this to me, I'm gonna have to do that to them, etc., so forth. You know, that type of stuff, right? So then now there'll be those that will try to take advantage of your kindness, etc., or see your kindness as a weakness. Now, hear me here. Like, listen here and listen clear, please. First and foremost, when your kindness transforms or elevates or develops to a certain point, it becomes a super trait, as I call it. Now, when individuals look at you, right, first and foremost, you have to realize that when you're genuinely kind and it elevates and it develops to a point where now it's truly something spiritual about it, you went through the ringer, you understand discernment, and you understand how to utilize it perfectly, that you're not showing any partiality to all walks of life. You're treating them all equally. Now, when you come to that point and that's happening, others are going to want to be around you. They're going to see it, but very few don't get that because they show partiality. They start to show it against others and be like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, I got to do this, that. No. When you're dealing with the super trait and when it becomes that point, trying to land this plane here, is it, sometimes some experiences are very hard for us, so please bear with me, is that you're not, people will first take it as gullibility. And that's when others look at kindness more so as a weakness. They be like, oh, this guy is gullible. Like, he doesn't understand. Oh, no, he actually fully does have awareness and understands exactly what he's speaking about. It's just the fact of the matter is it hit to a point where now he's showing kindness because this is a godly trait. And God has showed him kindness, so he does likewise. Now, also realize this. It gives people space to be able to understand it, endure it, experience it, and hopefully they'll be able to mirror it and do likewise. If not, they'll, try to take advantage, but you'll be able to see it and understand from a point of view. Then you move forward. They move anywhere else, and then they'll still have to remember that point of connection on where you showed grace. And with being that you showed grace and kind was the trait, they'll be able to have something to go back for, and also realize it's an example of when you could have showed a different other trait, but you didn't. You still show kindness. It was consistency with that. All that plays a major role in your development, as well as everyone around you that was able to experience that experience or that point of connection and that point in time. But when you're dealing with individuals who discarded it, you have to realize, again, they're carrying that shoulder boulder. This is something you realize the enemy wants to use against you. Now, again, I talk very spiritual about in these videos, and I also talk about God and the devil, etc., and so forth. Don't want to talk too much about that because, again, it's, as you hear some of my videos, I do use profanity. And again, we're very welcome. We're going to spin right back to the topic. But I use profanity in my videos because, I'm a work in progress. I still haven't found a crew. Individuals out there with the attitude and criteria that they carry. I need to improve my diction some more. So please help while you can. I'm a work in progress. I'm in development as well. Bear with me. Can you? I digress. But anyway, moving on. Because I can go all the time with that. But making this more so is that when you're dealing with individuals like that who discarded it, and you want to still show grace, you still want to not change, because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you to change. And remember, God, the enemy, if the enemy is not focused on you, then you're doing something wrong. He only focuses on the ones that literally are a detriment to his kingdom, because he's walking with God and it's already been done. Like, you can't reinvent what Jesus did. You can't outdo what Jesus already did. It's already been done for us to be able to live the good life. I digress. So the enemy sees that and now wants to diverge you off a path and sees like, yo, this dude is very powerful in the kingdom of light. I need him and this. I can't have him connect with this, that, and the third. But it is what it is. This is why you show grace, be patient, show kindness, steadfastness, etc., and so forth. I digress. Let's get back into it, because again, I don't want to make it too biblical, because I don't give it enough justice. Again, how I talk and how I speak, that book is so powerful, it's so beautiful, and it's such a revelation at every given point, especially in a point in time. As it grows, you grow. It's a living thing. So to be able to, I don't think I'll be able to do it justice, even if I were to give biblical insight. But I can definitely reference it to it, because I use that Bible to help improve my life currently and for the future at all times. But I digress. Let's get down to these points that I've written down in the script. Who writes in the script? I do. Excuse me. Hello. It's all good. Right? Now, listen here. Now, the beautiful thing about it is that when you're being kind and being stern, you want to understand that, all right, these two complement one another, and usually they're begotten out of the extreme of being too much of one of the other. I.e. meaning, all right, if you're kind, you being very overly kind, etc., so forth, you overextend yourself, exhaust yourself, and then you start to realize, maybe I gotta sturdy up. I gotta be a little bit more stern here. You know what I mean? There's things that happen, such and so forth, and vice versa. You better be very, very stern and rigid in certain situations, to the point you think, maybe I'm a little bit too rigid. I'm not budgeable. Maybe I have to, kind of sit down and I'm sturdy, but then now I gotta kind of, gotta be a little bit fluid. You know what I mean? Gotta flow a little bit more. Show a little kindness. Be a little understanding. Show some sympathy, some empathy, right? I digress. It happens, but it does begot one another when you are of the extreme of one another, right? I digress. Oh yes, and once you start applying, because again, when you're applying the kindness and the stern and they're combining in one another, you'll start to understand that you'll be able to create boundaries. And when you're creating boundaries, it gives space for opportunities. Creating boundaries will give an understanding of what is and what's not. Period. Also, I had to write this one down. To apply them both. Understand like there's nothing wrong with being kind. But then you also have to realize you're not showing any partiality. It's just showing how much leverage you're able to give others individually. Still showing them the genuine overall kindness, but also realize, all right, with this individual, I can still show kindness and still show grace. But however, I don't want to enable them to the point where now they're not understanding the connection and not understanding the situation. And now they're still going to have opportunity to be able to use my kindness for a weakness. Now, I'm not going to put myself in a position for that situation to be used against me to hurt me. But at the end of the day, it's still hurting them because they're not understanding where the growth is at. So then you want to kind of understand how much distance and how much sternness and kindness you're able to give this one. Or when you're dealing with a situation when now you're overly stern with this individual, but you're still being kind, but you're still very stern because now they have a habit of, being taking advantage, etc. and so forth. But you want to show a little kindness, so now you can give them the opportunity to be able to learn something new. You want to kind of give a little bit more leeway, etc. and so forth, but not too much that'll be able to hurt you, etc. and so forth. I digress. You'll be able to understand how to gauge people individually, but overall, as a whole, you're still showing kindness without any partiality. You're just giving it a little bit of distance and treating them more custom to their persona. You know what I mean? Not saying like, oh, you did this, I did that. It isn't circumstantial, which it is, it is circumstantial, but it isn't, how can I say? It's overall and custom. I can't explain it because at the same time, it's one of those experiences you have to experience. Once you experience it, then you'll be able to understand and discern it. And excuse me, maybe I don't have a full comprehension of it because maybe there's still more that I have to learn about this experience myself to be able to explain it in the simplest terms. But in the meantime, in between time, hope you're listening, hope you're understanding it because you're here watching and you're here listening. And if you don't like what I'm putting down and you're not picking up what I'm putting down, click that X, it's all good. But at the same time, you're here and you're loving it because I'm sexy. So I digress, right? And let's go to it. Also realize that being stern protects your kindness, and being kind gives leeway for your sternness to be appreciated. All right, I'll say it again. Your sternness protects your kindness, and being kind gives understanding for your sternness. So when you're being stern, when you're being kind, also realize when you're being stern, it's going to be respected because you'll be like, wait, this guy is very kind and very understanding, etc. and so forth, but he's also very about the business and getting that business done, period. Also, this individual could also say, this guy's very stern, he's all about business, but he's also showing empathy, he has kindness, he's understanding where I'm coming from, showing empathy, etc. and so forth. These are high quality traits that also make you personable, but also keep things in a more disciplined and organized fashion. Because everyone likes kindness. Simple as that. You got to realize everyone likes spiritual traits: joy, peace, love, kindness, steadfastness, long suffering, etc. so forth. I digress. Everybody loves those traits, the good and the bad. It's just unfortunately the bad likes those traits. They'll like them initially, and then their evilness will kick in, and then they want to try and take advantage of the opportunity that they get in that situation to be able to behoove themselves and have they have larceny in their hearts. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So they got to work with God to kind of clean that out and brainwash themselves, right? And I say that in a more positive sense. If you watch my other videos, you understand what I mean by brainwash. But if you don't watch my other videos and you're here now, let me give a little quick explanation. Hopefully, when I get to the point where now I have some of you, you got to explain because the diction that I'm putting down. Can you dig it? A little quick story. I'm reading my Bible and somebody's like, why are you reading? I'm like, I enjoy it, it helps my life and such and so forth. Oh man, whatever, I don't need that brainwash stuff. First of all, I wasn't offering it to you. Secondly, you're right, it is brainwash. Why? Because anytime you watch something, what are you doing? You're cleaning it up. You didn't say it was hypnosis. You didn't say it was negative manipulation. You said it was brainwash. So you're right. I'm washing my brain right now. Thank you so much for that little term that I will be using and applying now moving forward. Then, of course, but then, you know, I'm speaking, you know, I say now, but I meant then. Whatever, you get it. I digress. But anyway, that's all the points right there. So I'm going to end it off right again. This message is for the adept out there, for the master, the expert, the proficient, the e-fish, and the selfish, and the one that's always doing it and never losing it. That's growing, that's glowing, that's going at all times. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And remember, do good, speak good, see good, because when it is good, it's all good. Can you dig it? And for the haters out there that love looking at your boys, make sure you look at my good side, because you know I am. See, I am. Heck yeah, oh yeah, can you dig it? Oh yes, I can. Peace, love, and light. See you guys in the next vid.